Time in YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Theme Deck Corner. Today we are taking a look at the final deck that came out with the update from Pokemon TCGO. This one is called Hidden Depths, which is a water type deck based around, well, pretty much Articuno. Articuno is the 120 HP water type Pokemon with Find Ice. Find Ice costs you 1 energy, but it'll let you collect up to 3 energies for your hand for the following turn. It's a really strong attack considering the format you're in. Grabbing 3 energies out of your deck means you have the opportunity to grab something else upon the turn of your draw. Or you can get really unlucky and draw another energy, which happens a lot. Articuno also has Freezing Wind for 2 water, 2 colorless. We're going to be dishing out 100 damage, and it's a pretty all-round good card for theme deck format. I'm not bashing Articuno at all, it is really good. Now moving on, Articuno has only 1 copy of it. Besides this, it has an ancient trait version with Delta Plus if your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by this Pokemon. You'll be able to acquire an additional prize on top of what you normally would. So if you take out an EX, for instance, you would gain 3 prizes. But in this format, you knock anything out with this Articuno, and that's going to be 2 prizes guaranteed. That is really strong in this format. This Articuno's also got 120 HP. It's got Chilling Sigh for 1 water energy. You get to put your opponent to sleep. And then you have Tri-Edge, 2 water, 1 colorless. You get to flip 3 coins. And you get to do 20 damage, then you get to flip 3 coins. For each head, you will do an additional 40 damage. So, now that I'm not rambling, I get to do 20 plus 3 coin flips. For each heads, I'll do 40. Alright, perfect. Pretty strong for this format. Like I said, very good card. Moving on, we have Seeking. Now, Seeking is a pretty weird Pokemon. It has 90 HP, it's a water type. Stage 1. It has 2 attacks that both cost only 1 energy each. Now, this is a fine Pokemon to use. Soaking Horn only does 10 damage. However, if you manage to heal Seeking, it's going to do an additional 80, which gives you a ton of damage potential. Unfortunately, the only way to heal this thing is a Healing Scarf, which we'll get to later. Its other attack, for 1 colorless energy, is Reckless Charge. For 1 energy, you get to do 40 damage. However, you do take 10 damage, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you don't have a lot of HP, you don't really want to lose it, and Seeking just tends to go down. Not necessarily a bad thing. This Pokemon's actually pretty good and has won me a few matches, but you have to be careful with it. Our next Pokemon is going to be Laparis, 120 HP, has the Errand Running attack. For 1 water energy, you get to search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, which can be very strong in this. It means that you are not getting locked out of your cards. You are consistently being able to get into what you want to get. Lapras is very, very versatile. It's also got Water Splash for 2 water, 1 colorless. It's going to do 80 damage. You get to flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 20 more damage. So you have the potential to do 100 damage for 1 energy less than Articuno. And you have a pretty similar attack. So Lapras and Articuno very much go hand in hand together. Very, very nice combo. Next up, we have the oh-so-gruesome Gyarados himself. The Stage 1 water type with 130 HP has Berserker Splash for 1 water, 2 colorless. It's going to do 80 damage. The stack does 10 damage to each benched Pokemon, yours and your opponent's. You also have Aqua Tail, 1 water, 3 colorless. It's going to do 90 damage. However, you get to flip a coin for each water energy attached to Gyarados. And for each heads, you're going to do 30 more damage. That could be a lot of damage. You need 4 energies to attack with this thing. So if I've got 4 water energy on it, that's 3, 6, 9, 12. 120 damage on top of the 90. That's 210 damage potential. Now, what combos well with this particular Gyarados is actually the Ancient Trait Gyarados. It has data, I think it's Theta Double, I'm not sure. It can hold 2 tool cards. Doesn't mean much in theme deck format, but it does have full retaliation for 2 colorless energy. You get to do 30 damage, and this attack does 30 more damage for each damage counter on your benched Magikarp. Now there's 3 Carp in this deck. With that being said, this Gyarados has the potential to do a lot of damage. And you can make a deck with this in real format too, but it has the potential if you can draw into those Magikarps. The only downside to that is in order to really do any damage to your benched Carps, you need that Gyarados that we had. Therefore, 2 of your Magikarps have to evolve before you can do it. So this Magikarp line may not be the strongest. For this deck anyway. Next up is Dugong, 120 HP. It is a stage 1, has Freezing Breath, 1 water energy. It's going to do 20 damage. But this Pokemon is very good for Theme Deck. You have a flip a coin effect. If heads, you paralyze. If tails, you put them to sleep. So no matter what, you are doing some sort of status ailment. That is a very, very strong feature for Theme Decks. And it gives you that ability to potentially get into that 4 energy costing Aurora Beam, 1 water, 3 colorless. It does 100 damage. I've used Dugong a lot. I usually try and get into Dugong when I play this deck because Dugong is so good. It's so good in Theme Deck format. Now our last Pokemon is Dodrio. Dodrio is a stage 1 colorless Pokemon with 90 HP. This thing is perfect for this deck because it has Retreat Aid. As long as Pokemon is on your bench, your active Pokemon have 2 colorless less in their retreat cost, which is really good. It has Fury Attack, but will very seldomly use it. It costs you 3 colorless energy, 40 times you get to flip 3 coins, and for each heads you get to do 40 damage. Again, we're not using this thing for attacking, we're using this to sit on the bench and give all our Pokemon free retreat. Next up, what's something very versatile in this deck is the Dive Ball. I wish there was a ball like this for pretty much every type, but the Dive Ball specifically lets you look for a water type Pokemon, put it into your hand, and then you shuffle afterwards, of course. This is really strong because if I need a Dugong or I need a Gyarados, I can get it. If I need that Articuno to set my hand up so I have tons of energy, I can get it. This card is so good. We have a Great Ball. This will help us get the Doduos and the Dodrios. It's not as consistent as the Dive Ball, but you know what? I'll take what I'm given, and a Great Ball is not a bad card. We have a Max Potion. This can heal our good old Seeking at the cost of the energy that's attached to it. So, Max Potion is a very good card. A matter of using it is depending on the situation, of course. We have a Max Revive. Put a Pokemon from your discard pile on top of your deck. Keeps our Pokemon from being just in the discard pile. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not big on the Revive cards. We have a Pokemon Catcher. Flip a coin. If heads, you can pretty much lice under your opponent. Grab one of their bench Pokemon, put it in the active position. Boom, you're good to go. We have 1 Professor's Letter because Articuno is not enough to get our energy. No, we need more cards to do it. So Professor's Letter is going to do it. You get two basic energies from your deck, and you put them in your hand. Beautiful. Now, if those energies all hit the discard pile, we have Fisherman to get them back. You can put 4 basic energies back from your discard pile into your hand. Beautiful card. I love it. We have Last Special, which is a very strong card in Theme Deck format. You get to draw a basic. You get to draw a card for each of your opponent's benched basic Pokemon. Now, this doesn't seem all that great in basic in regular game because you know what? Most people either evolve or they plan around it. But in Theme Deck, you play all your Pokemon pretty efficiently to keep yourself in the game, try and keep your cards going a little bit. So being able to get all those basic draws is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Next up, we have the good old powerful N. Each player shuffles their hand back into their deck and they draw a card for each of their remaining prize cards. Disruption, card draw. This guy's got it all, and he is in this deck. I love it. Next up is Scylla. Scylla lets you pretty much go for any trainer card that's in the deck. It literally has Laparis' attack as a supporter card. I'm fine with it. We have a Wally. Wally lets us search our deck for an evolution card, as long as it's not an EX, and evolve our Pokemon right away. So turn 1, if I really wanted to, I could get Dugong. Turn 1, if I really wanted to, I could get Seeking. If I I really wanted to, I could get Gyarados, but it's not usually the best case scenario there. As mentioned before, we do have the Healing Scarf. Whenever you attach an energy to a Pokemon that this card is attached to, you heal 20 damage. That is a lot of healing when you consider the fact that if I attach this to Seeking, I get to also do 20 damage. I get to do 80 more damage on top of my base attack. So yeah, I have to sacrifice a little bit of energy to get there, but this card is worth it for that. Lastly, we have 2 Splash Energies. Splash Energy can only be attached to a Water Pokemon. However, if that Water Pokemon is knocked out, the Pokemon is then sent back to your hand when it's knocked out instead of to the discard pile, giving you the ability to either evolve or reset it up. So, I like this card a lot. In this format, very, very strong. And lastly, we've got ourselves 20 Water Energy. So, that is our deck list. I know it takes a little bit to get through this, but what is your opinions, guys? I've shown you guys all 3 of the most current theme decks for brand new players on TCGO. I've gone through the trouble of actually playing through them all, so these are the deck lists that you are going to get. Now that you've seen this one, what is your opinion on this deck? I did have a lot of fun with it. I actually had a lot of fun with all 3 of them. As of this moment, I still think Crushing Current was my favorite of the 3. But we're going to actually get into this and see, can Hidden Depths still pull through and do exactly like the other 2 did and pull 2 wins? So, we're about to get into some matches. Are you guys ready? Now remember, before I get in here, for those of you who are brand new, this is a best 2 of 3 scenario. So, it's pretty self-explanatory. You get 2 games if we win 2, 2 games if you lose 2, and 3 games if something else happens. So, without any further ado though, let's get into some Pokemon TCG Online. Alright guys, game number 1 is against Ms. Jap Slap. So, let's see what we're going up against. We are going up against... I can't tell. It's a Fates Collide one? It must be Lugia. It is the Lugia one. So Ms. Jap Slap is going to get to call this coin toss. That is a tongue twister. I dare you to try and say that 10 times fast. Ms. Jap Slap, Ms. Jap Slap, Ms. Jap Slap, Ms. Jap Slap. I have failed. Alright, we are gonna go first. And let's see here. We have a seal. Ooh, I'm happy with this opening. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy with this opening hand. We do get to have the active seal. We'll be able to evolve it pretty quickly. I'll probably Dive Ball for Articuno. Most likely. I have no other bench Pokemon. That is fine. We see a Snubbull on my opponent's side. We're going to go for a Dive Ball here. And I might actually go for that Seeking instead. This will give me 2 big attackers right off the bat. I wish Goldeen was up in the front because I at least could get some damage off. But we're going to start off with Seal. No problem here. And our first attack will actually be from the Dugong. So we'll be able to status this thing up right away. I do believe there is Gramble in that deck. We do see a Fairy Energy drop. Ruckus is a very powerful attack if you can flip the coin to get it. We are going to go with the good old Dugong here. We'll go on to the Seeking as well. And we're going to drop an energy onto the Dugong, hoping to get into that good old Aurora Beam. But now we just get a nice slow game. We're going to put our opponent to sleep, and they do not wake up. This is very, very good for us. This means that Snubbull may not be able to survive 2 hits. It's got to make it through another full turn. It does get an energy pouch. Okay, if you get knocked out, those energies go back into your hand. Beautiful. Fairy drop, heal 50. Ugh, this guy's got all sorts of healing. So we do see that the Shauna happens, so they'll most likely get a basic here. That's alright. Dugong is still in the... Ooh, there is a Lugia. There is now a Lugia on the bench. Still stays asleep. Not a big deal because I get to put it back to sleep. But we are going to get that additional energy. And I'm not going to go for the last special just yet. I am going to just simply go for the Freezing Breath. 20 damage. And it stays asleep. And it stays asleep! We'll be able to knock it out though this turn. we will be able to get the additional energy we need, and this Lugia will not have the turn to set up. It's got 120 HP, but it does have that nasty pressure, which means that we cannot just go for Freezing Breath. We actually have to attack it with the Aurora Beam. It does wake up, but that's not going to be enough to save it. We do get the Laparis. We get the Laparis here. Sorry for that little bit of lag there. And we're going to drop this water energy down, and I can safely go for the last special now, which will give us 3 cards. They're all basics. I'm alright with playing 2 of them. I'll save the Goldeen for now. And we're going to go with that Aurora Beam, which should get us the first knockout here. Now, it depends on what my opponent wants to go into. We got the Articuno, so the Articuno was prized even if I wanted to go for it. And I'm happy I didn't play the Goldeen, because now I can play. And that actually is going to be game number 1. Snubbull going down meant that it was a lot of time for me to stay active and now set up my party, where my opponent really needed to set up an attacker still. So that is very nice to see. We got a very nice opening. Like I said, Dugong, very, very strong, especially early game. With that 1 energy drop, that is a strong attack. Don't even go by the fact that it actually does damage. The fact that it consistently will always do a status ailment is strong and it'll cripple your opponent. So, with that being said though, we're going to move into game number 2. Do we have the ability to go 2-0, or are we going to lose game number 2? I'm hoping we get 2 wins here, but let's see how it goes. And the last game, no, not last game, second game, we're going again against Jonathan VLC. I apologize if I did pronounce that wrong. Somehow, some way. Jonathan or yeah, it's Jonathan. Okay, let's go. Coin toss. Tails! We're going first, boys and girls. That's what I like to see. Nice little first turn. We have a Laparis to start. Not our strongest opening, but that is alright. Like I said, I can get any trainer I want here. So this means I can dive ball for Seal, get everything going. I'm going to actually go into our Articuno line, or Seal line, because it is so strong. My opponent is playing a fire deck, so this may not be the best thing for my opponent. I might just slap the splash energy down on the Laparis. This way I can call it back once it does get knocked up the first time. And we'll just get a couple trainers, get ourselves in the momentum here. And we're going to go dive ball. Let's get the Seal. Seal. Like I said, we're going to put a splash energy down onto the... Oh, I can't go this turn anyway. So we're going to go for the Great Ball here. And we'll grab the Goldeen. I like to get some attackers going before that Magikarp. The Magikarp does take a little while to set up because it can't just naturally attack back. I am going to go for the Professor's Letter. This will net me 2 water energies that I do not have to draw. Now my hand looks pretty good. I'm going to say pass. Let this poor little Tepig see what he's about to do. Tepig looks pretty blazing right here. He's got some... We see a Rocky Helmet, and a Flare comes our way, so we're going to take 10. And we have a Dodrio on the bench now. Just need that Dodrio, and we'll be alright. So I'm going to start setting up this good old Seal. It is exactly what we're going for. I'm going to go for that Wally, though. This way I'm guaranteed to evolve my Seal next turn. And I might even opt to put the extra energy on Laparis. That way I can switch out. I have a lot of energy, which is nice. And I have a few turns to draw back into it. With having an energy already on Seal, it means there's 3 energy right now that can go back and forth between the 2. If my opponent has a hard time coming out of this, we see an Ultra Ball. And what was that? It's a Ninetales that got discarded. So we do see Pignite. He's going for that damage. But I, on the other hand, am looking to knock this thing out. So, we see the Pignite. I might actually have to leave it in. So it does 20 damage. Pignite, you're not that strong, my friend. Even at max HP, I don't think my opponent can take me out, so I am gonna just simply Wally. Let's see if I can get that Dugong. Dugong. There is one, so we're gonna evolve. And we're gonna switch out. Dugong might take a little bit of damage from this, but I'm gonna do a lot more back. So 40 damage, I get the heads off, I take 20, but he's paralyzed. Now all I need to do is survive another good turn, and I'll be alright. Dugong is a threat. This is something I try and go for every time, is getting this good old freezing breath going. We actually have the free retreat now. Well, it'll cost 1 energy to retreat Dugong now. We're gonna go for a water energy drop. I can save the max potion for the Laparis, but I'm gonna go for that freezing breath. This will do another 40 damage and get a status. We do not paralyze. Paralysis was key, but he does stay asleep. This means we will be picking up the knockout on this Pignite. My opponent needs a benched Pokemon to survive this, and it doesn't look like he got it. Goes for an Ultra Ball, ditches his entire hand. He can go for the Emboar though, and that will put us in a bit of a bind here. Does evolve. This is all he's got though. He has 3 energy, can go for the fire breathing, does 40 damage. So unfortunately for me, I do need to now set up another attacker. Due to the fact that my Dugong does not have the opportunity to survive here. Because how much can you do? You can actually knock me out. I have 3 energies, let's just set up this Laparis. I should have healed the Laparis first. Either way, freezing breath. I'm going to take another 20. It's only got 10 HP, but it does go to sleep. But it does wake up, so my Dugong will go down here. But all I need really is to use Goldeen. Goldeen might be my savior here. I've got a water energy in back. Goldeen might actually pick up the knockout on this Emboar, depending on what card my opponent has left in the hand. My opponent does need to attack, because otherwise Dugong is just going to clean it up. And based on how my board looks, the Lapras would come out, which again, my opponent can take out. Does go for the fire breathing, does get the extra damage, but it did not matter. The Dugong is going to go down here. My opponent does claim its first prize, but with that being said, I've got the energy for Goldeen, and this is going to do 40 damage. I actually get another seal. So we go for the water energy drop, reckless charge, 40 damage to this Emboar, and down goes Emboar. That's game. That's game. My opponent got a fully evolved Emboar out, tried to scare us off with that high damage. But I had a Goldeen. I was okay. I had Goldeen. Goldeen is like my best thing ever. We are actually going to, because of the way those battles were, I'm going to go one more battle, regardless of whether we win or lose this next one. We've won today's episode. But because of how the battles went, I'm going to do one additional battle, just for entertainment's sake. So let's do this. One final battle. And now, ending with a nice battle, we are going up against Alex Delta 10? 16. Sorry, screen I've got is a little off clarity, so I can't rate it as well, but it gets better views for you, so I like it. We're gonna go first again. I'm actually alright with this, and we get to see what we've got here. We have a Lapras start again, but I don't mind this. I have the Scylla, so I don't actually have to worry about going for first turn Wally. I can dive ball into Seal. I can go for all those great things. We have no other bench Pokemon. Our opponent has probable potential to get them. He does. He's got one. He's got 2. There he goes. We see a Meowth, Eevee, and Beldum. I'm going for Golding. This is gonna seem weird. But with that healing scarf, I might actually be able to take an early game here. I'm gonna drop the energy onto Golding, and then that way I have everything kind of set up. Now my Laparis couldn't do anything that turn anyway, because we did go first. So now that my opponent has the ability, this good old Meowth has the ability to act tough in front of us. He's gonna be like, ooh, yeah, look at them perks, look at them, look at them. I'm a tough guy. I'm a dark, tough guy. That, my friends, is a prelude. Well, it was a card foreshadowing Alolan Meowth. It was foreshadowing it. So it does get a steel energy onto the Meowth, and it's going to act tough. It's going to get 10 damage off, which is fine. We are going to get Seal, which I was very happy to see. A Seeking. And we have to drop a water energy onto the Laparis. Now what's nice here is once I get the additional card, I'll be okay. I'm gonna go, let's see, show playmat. My opponent only has 2 cards there, so the N is the better card. We're gonna grab an N. And that'll be our next turn. But I can go for an errand running. This will get me an item card of my choice. And I think I'll get the Dive Ball. This way I can get my Dugong as well. This will set everything nice in motion for my next few turns. Whereas my opponent, he needs to get that Beldum out a little bit, because that is kind of like the big attacker. Actually decides to go for the Eevee drop and does evolve into Eevee. Or evolves into Vaporeon. Now, all their stage 1s are additionally water types. Doesn't really affect a water type deck, so I'm alright with this. But my opponent can just act tough. The muscles are getting bigger, boy. We get an additional water energy, so that is going to go onto the Laparis to retreat it, and we are going to go for that Dugong. Now what I'm planning to do here is retreat, use the max potion, and then I'll be able to get a full brand new hand. So let us retreat into the Seeking. Again, the Seeking is able to attack. We're going to max potion up this Laparis. That way we don't have any damage on the board at all. And we're going to get rid of my opponent's hand. We only ended up with 1 water energy. But I have Scylla to go for the good old Professor's Letter on the following turn. So we are going to go with the Reckless Charge. We're going to do 40 damage to Meowth. And take 10. We see another Tyranno. And this will net him 3 more cards. It's going to be a Regice. This is going to be a long game, guys. His Pokemon are a lot bigger than what we're used to. We do see a second energy drop onto the Vaporeon. And we're going to take 10 more from the Meowth. He's starting to get on my nerves, you know, the muscles from the kitty cat. We can evolve our Magikarp. It's a good idea, too. We can heal off the damage. And I can go for a Scylla here. Like I said, we were going to go for the Professor's Letter, and this will net us 2 more water energy. And this time I can heal up my good old Seeking 2 more times. We are going to go for that Soaking Horn, so I don't have to take 10. And And that will be our first prize of the game. Here we go. A Pokemon Catcher. Beautiful. So my opponent has 90 HP exact. So if he does hit us with good old Hydro Splash, we're going to take a lot of damage. But I'll be able to heal it off, and we're going to actually be able to knock out this Vaporeon, putting us in a very good position. So that's 70 damage right there. 70 damage. I just have to do this. Whoop. Water Energy. Heal up that damage. And we're going to go for that Soaking Horn. This is going to do 90 damage. And down goes the Vaporeon. So my opponent now has no attackers. I've got that Articuno in the back, so I have the ability to get it up, get this good old Seeking out of the way, get a nice attack off on the Articuno, and we'll be able to keep all this energy going. We see one energy drop onto the Regice. Ooh. Decisions. We're gonna go with the Articuno here. Ancient Trade Articuno. I do need to... You can do how much? 30. I do need to heal in order to survive. Now you can paralyze me here, which is very bad. But I am gonna go for the Soaking Horn. This is gonna do 90 damage. So the Regice is almost down. It's almost out of here. But it may not see that. So we see a Steel Energy hit, and this means that he can go for the Ice Beam. Please don't paralyze. Please don't paralyze. Please don't paralyze. Yes! 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 I should never ask for that, but I don't even need to go for the Water Energy drop onto that. I'm going to start setting up this Dugong in the back. And that is victory, because he knows I can take out this Regice with the Seeking. Seeking wrecked house! Seeking MVP. For this game. Dugong, overall MVP. I really enjoy using this deck, not gonna lie. That being said, I still preferred Crushing Current. Just, it had a stronger base power and overall backlash to what you were expecting. Raichu having that Circle Circuit with 2 energy for 100, like it had the potential to do 160 damage. Zapdos, 120 damage. But you have to take a bit of a butt hit by doing 4 damage to your own side. Yeah. Then you have Born of Fire, where Moltres, you had to do damage to yourself to kind of get more damage off. It's like, no, I'm kind of dwindling my own resources down. I really liked all 3 decks overall. But if I had to rate them in a particular order, my favorite is Crushing Current, followed by Hidden Depths for a lot of reasons. Hidden Depths is a very strong deck, and if you guys haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It's a very, very fun, versatile deck. And then sadly, Born of Fire is my third choice. But being said that, you saw them all work beautifully. They're all fun decks. There's no bad choice here. All 3 decks are worthwhile to pick up and finish using, so you can use them on theme deck format. Especially if you're brand new to TCGO, you really only have the theme decks to work with. All 3 of these decks are very strong. They can handle mental, they can handle Mental Might. They can handle a bunch of other things. So I highly recommend trying them out and keep on going from that. We are still going to be using theme deck format, or theme deck corner for the next little bit. We should have a deck wizard for you on Monday for Keldeo, if everything goes right. And we should have, I'm hoping to get 2 more theme decks for you for next week. One of them I guarantee you I already have. I already see my coin count. I already have it. It's going to be a blast. I'm going to love it. I just need 1,200 coins to get the other 2. We're going to be looking over the Heart Gold, Soul Silver theme decks featuring Feraligatr, Typhlosion, and Meganium. So this series is still here. It's going to be strong. I'm hoping to hold on right into Evolutions, where we're going to be able to look over the 2 new theme decks even from that, featuring Mewtwo and Pikachu. So that is all for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, because I had a ton of fun with this. Like I said, this is all for me. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're brand new, because I love seeing you guys, and I hope you guys can come out and enjoy more videos of mine, especially with Evolutions coming out and being so close to release. But like I said, that is all for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, time out. Right.